Good evening and welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Ossining regular meeting for Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Council, give me 1 second, hold on. Okay, Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
Councilmember Shaw,
Present.
Councilmember Meyer,
Present.
Councilmember Wiltshire,
Present.
Supervisor Levenberg.
I'm here.
Okay, we're going to departmental report of Recreation Superintendent Bill Garrison.
So tonight we're starting with these two departmental reports, and the first one is from none other than our Recreation Superintendent Bill Garrison. As we get into the heat of the summer, we know that you have lots to tell us about, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic and things are starting to look a little more normal. So take it away, Bill.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Levenberg. Good evening, Town Board. So yes, we have a lot going on in the Recreation Department. The big thing right now is that we are less than 3 weeks away from the start of our day camp. And we are still trying to figure out what's going on with the state guidance. We were on a meeting last week with the Department of Health. As it is right now, which is good news to lots of parents, and it's not so good news to some parents because we've had some complaints, is that kids, when they're outside, do not need to wear masks. Most parents are in favor of this, but we have had some complaints about this. And we've also had some people that have pulled their children from the day camp because we are going to permit kids not to wear masks outside. We have our pre-K camp, which is full. Our K through 1 camp is full. And our 2nd through 3rd grade camp is full. And we still have room in our 4th and 5th grade camps. We are running into some issues regarding staffing. We are still working to put together our staff. As of right now, we are 8 counselors short. We expect that we're going to be able to fill these positions, but it's been a very difficult year trying to find staff to work. And that's been a struggle. So camp starts on June 28th. It runs through August 6th. We're going to be utilizing Ryder Park and Brookside School, as well as the community center, to be running the camps. So we're looking forward
to Engle, don't forget.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Thank you. Engle Park on Wednesdays, the Brookside camp will be going down there to utilize the playground and the spray park, and we'll be closing that park from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for that use by that camp. We've got a number of other things going on at the rec center with the Spartan swim team. They're going to be participating in live in-person swim meets in the Northern Westchester Swim League. So that's exciting. That'll be going on all summer long. We have the pickleball that's going on with the adults. We'll be moving outside to the 3 courts that we have at Betts Park. And because the camps will be utilizing the community center 4 days a week. So that's the reason for that move. Other rec programs we have going on, we've got a variety of other programs like kayaking that'll be down at Lewis Engle Park, stand-up paddleboarding. We'll be doing kayak rentals during the week and kayak tours on Friday nights with the concerts that are going to be going on down there. So that'll be something that's going to be new this year that we're looking to do. So we are excited because more and more people are coming in to the rec center, renewing their memberships, signing up for programs. Things are really getting back to normal, and it looks like we're going to have a great summer. In addition with that, as we know, we have the concert series that's going to be starting on Friday, July 2nd. And we're also doing the acoustic music series that'll be starting in July at Market Square, and our family entertainment series that'll be starting in July as well. And they're at a variety of different locations throughout the town and the village. In our parks, I know that we've been working with the town on doing some future planning of how we're going to utilize our parks down at Lewis Angle and also at Ryder Park. We have done some site visits talking about how we're looking to do improvements. We've been utilizing the Recreation Advisory Board's recommendations for these parks. If you recall, it was probably about a year ago, the Rec Advisory Board came in front of this board and shared their results from their looking into the parks about their recommendations for future planning. So all in all, it's things are going very well. And like I said, we're looking for an exciting summer.
Awesome. Thank you. And yes, we're hoping to, again, as everybody knows, apply for some of those parks improvements with the upcoming CDBG grant rounds, and also looking at the New York State CFA applications for what kind of things fit where. And we're grateful to our planner, Valerie Monastra, for helping us take a look at that, and with a planning hat on, helping us think about how we might strategically apply for some of the things that we have over time, but maybe with a different spin or a different approach. So we're grateful for the help that we're getting from you, Bill, as well as the help that we're getting from her and some of the other wonderful folks on our staff. So thanks for that. Does anybody have any questions for? Go ahead.
I probably should just add a little bit. I can give a little bit of update on the Youth Bureau.
Sure.
So the Youth Bureau, we have concluded the first round of interviews for what's the title is the Youth Services Director. This is the person that will be running the Youth Bureau. We hope to be giving out an offer by the end of this month. We do have some Youth Bureau programs that are going on. We did receive some money from the county to run a summer youth employment program. This will employ 15 youth from the ages of 14 to 18, 20 hours a week to work at minimum wage. But we do need some help and support. We need to find some work sites. So if anyone knows anybody who runs a business or in some type of job where they might want to take on a young person to provide them 20 hours worth of work a week, we have the funding to cover the salary. All we ask you to do is to be a mentor and provide some supervision of this young person while they work during the summer. So we're looking to come up with about 15 to 20 different work sites that we will place youth in. It would be a 6-week program. Anybody that has any ideas or knows of someone that might be interested can please contact me, and we will give you more details on this.
Have we been able to, is the village allowed to employ any of them? And is that something that you're planning to do? So we should be considering the same.
Yes, so we were looking to put some people in our parks department, and the school is going to take a couple kids, but it'd be great if we can find some people in the private sector to take some of these young people, to give them, for many of them, their first work experience.
Sure.
And again, it's no cost to the businesses. Salaries are covered under this program, this grant from the county. It's just giving the time to work with a young person and getting them interested perhaps in the line of business that they are in.
All right. Well, we have somebody with our housing program might want somebody with who works with dentists, might know a dentist or two who needs a helping hand keeping the kids busy. Who knows? And then we also have our Chamber of Commerce. Have you reached out to Gail Marchico yet to see if the chamber would like to advertise to their folks? Yeah. Okay.
I have met with Gail last week, and she's also going to be reaching out to the chamber members to see if there's people that are businesses that might be interested as well.
Awesome. All right, that's fantastic. And we'd love to, if you have like a little flyer or anything that you'd like us to use to advertise in our weekly update, or out on Facebook, we'd be happy to do that as well.
Great, thanks. I hope to have that this week.
Okay, great. And that's great. So does anybody else have questions for Mr. Garrison?
Okay. What's the update on the kayak rack?
It is it's in process.
Yeah, the concrete is down. It looks great. And I know that Mario was working on the racks. I don't know what the ETA is on those, but I know it's just a matter of transporting those racks down and then securing them into the concrete.
So yeah,
Okay.
the pad is poured. Pad is poured.
Right, so a couple weeks?
I'm gonna
Yeah, I can. You know what? I'll find out from Mario tomorrow what his thought is on that, and I can certainly give you an email and give you an update on that.
And just also for your information, they should be back at Sally Swope hopefully this week. They have now gotten all the plans that they need finalized and the okay to bring in the materials that they need to finish. So, and we had an Eagle Scout project start there last week, and hopefully they will be finishing this week. We did get the new sign, Sally Swope sign in. That is up, I believe, as well as we have Girl Scouts coming this weekend to put a little pollinator garden in at the bottom of the ramp right near the parking area at Engle Park. And that's for their bronze award. So they're gonna put some pretty flowers at the bottom of the ramp.
I hope they're salt tolerant because that area gets salted. It's a challenge with those plants down there.
We shall
But anyway,
keep the fingers crossed.
I'm sure they'll think about it. All right, and I had a resident ask me, this isn't a town issue, but about the North Malcolm tot lot. If you could take a look at that. I don't know what's wrong there, but they were hoping you could take a look at,
On the aqueduct.
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, we are. That's one of the grants that we're putting in for the CBGB to put in a new playground there. So we're working on that. It looks like what we're going to do though is take out that playground. We don't even know how old that thing is. So just for safety reasons, we probably need to remove that.
Yeah, that's about what she was saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll be coming out this summer.
Okay. All right. And how are you set for lifeguards out of curiosity?
We actually got quite a few lifeguards, so I think we're pretty good for the summer. And
I heard there was a shortage elsewhere, so.
Yeah.
I heard there were shortages elsewhere. I wanted to see how we were doing.
Yeah. We've got a good staff. We had a lot of kids that came back from college that are looking to put hours in. So we're in good shape for the summer. Camp counselors we need though. So if you know any people that want to be camp counselors, send them our way quickly.
They can have CPR training. That's okay. Accepted.
Right.
If they're trained to be lifeguards, but there's no lifeguard jobs available, then, they could also be camp counselors.
Yeah.
You know anybody, Councilman Feldman.
Actually, I heard there was a shortage of lifeguards, and I know Aaron has a job. He's going upstate, but I was wondering if we were short, if he would ask his clients.
Right.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're pretty good there.
All right. Any other questions from other board members? Okay. With that, I thank you very much, Mr. Garrison, and we will be in touch soon. And up next, we have a departmental report from Fernando Gonzalez, who is our assessor. Fernando is fresh off of filing the tentative roll. Lots of phone calls, lots of emails, I'm sure, and he's gearing up for grievance day. We're looking forward to your timely update. Take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, another tentative roll has been filed on June 1st, the 2021 Town of Boston tentative roll. And as you know, this year, these adjustments to the assessment roll are based on sales as every year. The difference is that this year, we analyzed the sales by neighborhood. We calculated the percentage of change from the assessed value of last year and applied that percentage to the neighborhood. Last year was a reappraisal year, and we basically calculated a new assessed value, a new appraised value for every property. And we accomplished that last year by modifying the model based on sales, of course, and then this model was applied to every subject or every parcel, and a new value was derived based on a computer-aided mass appraisal program, which is the Tyler IAS system. So this year, basically, the changes were, we call it ratio analysis, meaning the ratio of sales difference from the assessed value. So as you know, due to the COVID pandemic, many of the values in some of the lower valued neighborhoods went up quite a bit, and some other neighborhoods did not have any change. Now, bear in mind that the valuation date for the 2021 roll is always July 1st of the prior year. So we measure sales from July 1st of 2020 going back 1 year. So we're measuring a portion of the pandemic effect. The majority of the pandemic effect in the marketplace is going to be felt next year for the 2022 roll. So Victoria, if you could put up the neighborhood adjustment first document there, which I had emailed to everybody in preparation for the change of assessment notices to be sent out. As you can see, many of the neighborhoods that were adjusted were in the village of Ossining, anywhere from 1% to 8% in some cases, because the more affordable neighborhoods saw an increase in value, or in asking price and sales price rather, and not so much in the higher valued neighborhoods in the village of Briarcliff Manor. So as a result, we experience more equity increases in the town outside and the village. And in fact, this year, which I will show you on the next pages, the village of Briarcliff Manor will see a decrease in taxable assessed value. Also, as you can see on this neighborhood adjustment, which also has a history of adjustment since 2017, which is a year after the reassessment, you can see that all of the condominium complexes went up, or most of them went up. And that is because we were able to measure an increase in rental rates in the town of Ossining. So as you can see, the condominiums in the town went up anywhere from 3% to 7%. The commercial sector was spotty. Some sectors went up, like the rental apartments and mixed use a little bit. Some sectors like the office went down. However, our commercial are not separated by sector, because they're mixed throughout the town and the villages, and instead, we categorize them by main road, commercial on main roads like Main Street and Route 9, secondary commercial roads like Crofton Avenue, North State Road, and commercial spot, which is commercial properties in spots throughout, mixing in residential areas. So overall, for the entire town, we measure an average of 2% increase in assessed value on this year's roll, which is less than prior year's roll, by the way. Victoria, if we go to the next page, which is basically this is the town general, the entire town, approximately 10,200 parcels, and you can see this compares last year's roll to this year's roll by property class, residential, commercial, and then in the lower section by roll section, like taxable, special franchise, utilities. But what you can see here, and I have highlighted some of the most important points, that on the residential property class, which is the 200, 1, 2, 3 family, multiple buildings in one dwelling, which is the majority of the parcel, we see an increase in assessed value there in yellow of from last year's roll to this year's roll of 38,700 and I'm sorry, 38.7 million approximately. And then below that, you see that on the commercial side, we see an increase of 11.1 million. Now, bear in mind that the condominiums in the town of Austin are in the commercial category because they're assessed based on the income approach. And most of the 11 million increase in commercial value is attributed to the condo because we, as I mentioned earlier, we increase the condos anywhere from 2 to 7%, depending on the complex. And then we see a reduction in some of the other categories, such as vacant land, and that is because some of the vacant land parcels were developed, and now they built a one family for the most part or a commercial development. So you see a reduction of 2 million in assessed value on vacant land. Now, on the lower part of this page, which is by roll section, you could see that 34 million of that increase is in the taxable roll section 1. We see a 2 million increase highlighted in yellow on special franchises. And we see on utilities, roll section 6, you see a decrease of 1.4 million. And again, this is town-wide, town general. This is again the tentative roll. We will be going through the administrative review by the bar, which will be implemented prior to September 15 before we file the final roll. So there will be some changes, minor changes on these totals. If we go to the next 3 pages, then is the same breakdown by municipality. First one is the Village of Briarcliff Manor, where you can see that on the residential sector, they had a decrease in assessed value of $1,164,000. And then if you see down below on by roll section, they had a reduction in taxable value of approximately 30 million, which, by the way, this is the first reduction in taxable value by any municipality since we started doing the full value assessment in 2016. Now, a lot of this 30 million is attributed to the fact that the former Pace campus was purchased by a nonprofit institution and went back to exempt status this year. So that's why you see a decrease in taxable value. Another reason also is that we lowered the assessment on the club, which is the largest assessed value parcel in the town of Austin, for 2021 by approximately 10 million. And the reason I did that is because they agreed to withdraw their case for last year. As you know, the club just opened up last year, and with this pandemic, they have been very slow at getting the facility occupied by new patients. As you know, this is a senior living for all levels, independent, assisted, and memory care assisted living. So it's a big project, and they just started to market it, and they've been doing a very aggressive job at marketing. I'm sure we all have seen their advertisement in every media in Westchester County, but it's going very slow after after this pandemic, as we come out of this pandemic effect. And then we move on to, I guess the next one is the village of Ossining. The village of Ossining will see.
Lando, did you talk about, I'm sorry, did you say, you did say the PACE campus, that was why the wholly exempt, did you mention that?
Yeah, that is the reason why in Briarcliff Manor, we see a decrease in taxable assessed value because the former PACE campus, which was taxable,
Okay.
as the prior owner failed to use it for the exempted purpose, the new owners have applied and I have granted the exemption as an educational religious institution. So that facility last year was assessed of about $17 million. So the majority of that decrease in assessed value, in taxable assessed value in the village of Radcliffe Manor is attributed to that, to the PACE campus going back to exempt. In the village of Ossining, as you can see below on that page, they will see right now a tentative 44 million increase in taxable assessed value. Most of it is attributed to increases in equity in the residential sector and some increases in the commercial sector, which is attributed to increase in assessed value for the condominium. And the next one and last one, of course, is the town outside, which right now we are showing a $9 million increase in residential assessed value for a total increase in taxable assessed value on roll section 1 of 20 million, almost $21 million. There's also a $2.3 million increase in assessed value for wholly exempt, and that is attributed to the construction of the new exempt facility on North State Road, the Children's Center. What else? Ceiling Railroad. That's it. We see a small.
Why is the Children's Center exempt?
I'm sorry. It's in the.
Is it not for profit?
No, it's not the Children's Center. I have to.
Artists,
No, artists is taxable.
taxable,
I'm
right?
trying to think what is the wholly exempt
Is
additional.
it the SPCA perhaps that the
Yes.
value increased?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the only exempt. The Children's Center is not exempt. Neither is Aris, is the
Learning.
ASPCA. New
Okay, it
construction.
makes more sense.
I think it's called the Learning Center, not the Children's Center, just so you know.
Learning experience.
Learning experience. Thank you.
Learning experience. It's not. I'm sorry. Yes, the Children's Center
Yeah.
is in the village of Ossining.
Yeah.
But as you can see, again, this roll measures a portion of the pandemic since the valuation day is July 1st of 2020. What we've seen in this exuberant residential real estate market is that properties are still going on the market. A bidding war ensues, and most properties have been sold for higher than asking price. And that is more noticeable, of course, in the more affordable neighborhoods. But next year, it shows that many of the neighborhood will see some sort of increase. What will hold back this market is the lack of inventory, as there is less and less properties available for sale. And of course, that is why the bidding wars are happening, because there are more buyers chasing the available properties that are put on the market. But next year, we hope to see the commercial sector come back. The office sector is still slow. The retail section, I think, is making a good comeback with many or some entrepreneurial people opening businesses again, which is very good to see, particularly in the food industry, you know, that suffers so much. So,
Absolutely.
any questions?
Let's get, does anybody have questions about what's up here? Should we get rid of that and just then open it up for questions so everybody can see? Okay, so thank you so much for that explanation, and open it up to my board colleagues for questions. Is there anybody who has any questions?
Okay, so is there, in Briarcliff, generally the taxes went down or at least didn't go up? Or
Assessment.
the assessment, yeah, I get it. The assessment stayed, not, did any of them go down on the personal properties, or they mainly stayed level?
They mainly stay level. Very few went down. Most of the, I think we send change of assessment notices to 4,500 parcels, and of them, approximately 300 were reductions, and those were mostly commercial properties. On the residential side, very few went down. Most of the neighborhoods that increased were in the village of Ossining, as I indicated.
Right.
The more affordable neighborhoods have a more significant increase in purchase prices. So,
And you said 8% in some areas?
in some of the condos, yes, and in some of the, I think that we have one PUD, that one planned unit development, which is not a condo, that went up 8%. Yes, we
Which
have
one was
two.
that?
That would be Beechwood. We have two planned unit developments, Hudson Watch and Beechwood, that have continued to see tremendous price appreciation. In the case of Hudson Watch, particularly the units with river views, you know.
Makes sense.
Yes.
We need to do a marketing plan to get our empty office spaces filled. Get the people who want to leave the city here.
Yeah, on the county level, we've seen some of that, but because businesses that are looking to establish operations in the suburbs, they look for large spaces. Most of the office inventory that we have is smaller spaces, like the second floor of some of these mixed-use buildings in the downtown village of Ossining. The largest vacant office spaces are on North State Road and on Executive Boulevard. But most of those companies that have come to Westchester looking for space, they're renting entire buildings, 50, 60,000 square feet. Most of the office space that we have available, again, is smaller office space on some of the corridors.
How many people do you think how many businesses are looking for those large office spaces? Because it seems like a lot of businesses are going to like hybrid environments where many of them are, letting people work from home so that they don't need to rent that much space.
Some are, like the pharmaceuticals you hear, are looking to set up their hybrid environment in a suburban location in Westchester, many along, the what they call the Silver or Golden Mile there, rather than in New York City. But we don't have that type. Other than Executive Boulevard, we don't have large inventory, and some of those buildings on Executive Boulevard, they may have one floor available, but they don't have 20,000-30,000 square feet available, so.
Well, the good news is that particular area has popped in the comprehensive plan as an area of interest for the public and for the steering committee. And so hopefully there'll be some good suggestions coming out of the comp plan for next steps for that space. And I know that, you know, we do have somebody who lives locally in the village who owns a piece of that that hasn't yet been developed. So,
Yes.
all right. Any other questions for Fernando? Thank you so much for all of the hard work getting to this point. I know that, you know, you have spent a lot of time looking at all of the sales information and data and worked with the various professional companies that this is what they do. And this is, you know, why we hire them and work with them. Not everybody's always happy about it, but I know that they can call your office. They can certainly file their grievances if they're not comfortable with their assessment, or they have information that shows that it's not legitimate for any reason, or they disagree with it, more importantly. And then they can take that up with you and the BAR, and hopefully we'll come to a resolution.
Yes, indeed. It's a busy time. You know, it's a very simple process established by the law, where the administrative review by the bar and then the legal review by the courts. You know, appraising, which is what values are based on. You know, in our industry, as an appraiser, we refer to appraising as an art. It's not a simple mathematical, you know, equation running numbers. You know, it's not only knowing the numbers, but, you know, making the adjustment based on experience and of course, you know, when you set up a computer program to do the thing, you can do a lot of parcels in one run. However, the fine tuning is what makes the difference. So part of this process, the administrative review and the judicial review, is the fine tuning that we do every year.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, okay then, if there are no further questions, I am going to thank you. And I know that we have a number of tax certs on for a little bit later this evening in the meeting, and we'll look forward to and appreciate all the hard work that went in to get to those. So
Thank you.
thank you, Fernando. I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night, Fernando.
Good night.
Good night.
Next up, we had planned for a work session this evening to talk about Hudson Wellness, which is a project currently before the land use boards in the town of Cortland. And since the project is in close proximity to the town of Ossining, we have been hearing from some of our residents with concerns regarding increased traffic and potential impacts on the watershed. It's been discussed that the town and village of Ossining sign a joint letter, which may be more impactful, as the village of Ossining owns the Indian Brook Reservoir and operates the municipal water distribution system that is shared by the village and town, which is in the town. The letter is currently being drafted by the Village of Ossining Corporation Council with input from their engineers and consultants. And since the letter is not complete, we have not yet had an opportunity to review the draft. So it seems most appropriate that we table this discussion again until we have these materials in front of us. This remains an important issue. We hope that by working closely with our partners in the Village of Ossining, our concerns will be effectively communicated to the land use boards in Cortland. Council Tom and Donna, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up. I spoke with the Villages Corporation Council earlier today. This project, while it's still before the land use boards, has a lengthy history. There's already been litigation involved. So Mr. Kahan has been doing a thorough review to make sure that we address all the issues that are necessary.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. And with that, I am going to go to a few of our announcements. First, I just want to give a shout out to anybody who was able to participate last week in our 2 flag raisings. We had our Juneteenth flag raised, and it's going to be up for the full month of June. Juneteenth, I'll talk a little bit more about the next event that's coming up on June 19th, Juneteenth itself. And also we had our Pride flag raising for Pride Month, and that was on June 4th. We also had a fantastic ribbon cutting ceremony at Historic Dale Cemetery. The superintendent's cottage envelope has been restored. It's looking fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to get by, please do make sure that you do. We heard from Bill Garrison a little bit about our upcoming summer concert series, and we're hoping to get the final list of concerts up very, very soon. We do have all the musicians lined up. We just had a little tweaking to do because of the fireworks not happening on July 2nd. We've pushed those, as mentioned at the last meeting, to September 3rd with a rain date of September 10th. And we're looking forward to celebrating all of the workers that have worked so hard during the pandemic, and giving them a nice send off to get back into the work year, with our teachers going back to school and our students going back to school after the Labor Day weekend. So those are sort of some of the big items from last week. And then as everybody knows, it's been super hot these past few days. So our spray park at Lewis Engle Waterfront Park has seen lots and lots of use, which is great because that's why it's there. We're happy. Just a reminder to all those bringing children there, the spray park is open from noon to 7 every day throughout the summer. Please remember that masks should be worn in the playground area around the spray park for people who are not fully vaccinated. So yes, that includes most children, although maybe that changed a little with the recent announcement that you don't have to wear masks outside. But masks are not to be worn while using the spray park itself. So please don't use the spray park if you or your children are not feeling well. We all need to continue to do our part to keep the spread of COVID-19 down while we await further authorization for younger children to get vaccinated. Starting Wednesday, June 30th, and running each Wednesday until August 4th, the spray park and playground area will be closed, as mentioned by Superintendent Bill Garrison, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for Ossining day camp use. So the spray park is only open from starting at 12 anyway, so that's just going to be closed down for 3 hours, but the playground will be in use for the day. Also, permits are required for use of the Brian Johnson boat ramp at Lewis Engle Park. Daily and seasonal passes are available for purchase online at www.buymypermit.com. That's BUYMY permit.com/Ossining. A direct link and instructions are available on the town clerk's page of the Town of Ossining website as well, which is townofossining.com. Please be sure to follow the instructions. And if you are choosing to purchase a seasonal pass, give yourself a few days for the sticker for your trailer to be processed and mailed to you. Seasonal permit holders are able to utilize the dedicated spaces for trailer parking at Lewis Engle Park. Those are those really long ones. I think there's 3 of them right near the boat ramp. So this type of permit is definitely recommended. Daily permits are available for immediate use, but trailer parking is not issued to daily permit holders. And if you are planning on launching your boat at least 2 times this summer, it is more cost effective to buy the seasonal pass, and plus you get the parking. Please be patient with us while we update signage at the park and spread the word to your boating friends. Dog licenses for 2021-22 are due for renewal now. It is New York state law that you must license your dog once they reach the age of 6 months. Thanks to our tech-savvy town clerk, Sue Donnelly, and deputy town clerk, Martha Quitasaka, it has never been easier to license your dog, right, Martha? You can now do so online. Just visit the town clerk's page of the Town of Ossining website. Select the link for dog license renewal. It's important to license your dog so we can ensure all dogs in our community are properly vaccinated. And if your dog happens to get lost, your dog will have a tag and registration number with our clerk so you can be reunited as fast as possible. And the extra bonus is that you will be mailed, if you want to use it, a tag to use the dog parks at Ryder and Cedar Lane Town Park. So lots of good stuff if you do license your doggy, which we hope you do. If you have a young person in your life looking for a summer job, Westchester County is hiring for lifeguards for the 2021 season. And of course, you heard that we were also hiring for camp counselors in Ossining. Applicants must be 15 years of age or older, possess current American Red Cross lifeguarding, first aid, and CPR AED for lifeguards certifications or equivalent, and pass the Westchester County practical skills test. More information is available online at https://parks.westchester.gov.com/job-opportunities/lifeguards-wanted. Go look it up on the Westchester Gov website. I think that's your easiest bet. Interested applicants can contact the county's aquatics team at prc-aquatics@westchestergov.com. So, Councilman Feldman, for your lifeguard friends of your son, you can tell them to go find some excellent jobs in the county. Westchester County is hosting its first Household Recycling Day event this year, Saturday, June 12th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at FDR Park in Yorktown. Yes, recycling days are back. Residents can bring properly labeled household chemicals, tires, scrap metal, electronics, appliances, documents for shredding, and other items found in a typical household for safe disposal and recycling. All that stuff that you've been busy gathering during the pandemic, you can now spend time to get rid of in a safe way. For more information on what to bring to this event, visit www.westchestergov.com/recycling or call 914-813-5425. Also, if you're doing some spring cleaning, the SPCA of Westchester is running low on towels, blankets, and sheets for the animals in their care. If you have some older spare towels or sheets that you're looking to get rid of, give them new life by dropping them off at the SPCA's temporary location at 1966 Crampond Road in Cortland Manor, and donations can be left in the donation bin right outside the front door anytime. Just think, those towels and blankets and sheets are going to make some little animals very, very happy. Ossinin's Juneteenth celebrations will continue, as I mentioned, with the second annual celebration at Lewis Angle Park on Saturday, June 19th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. The town is proud to be co-sponsoring this event, which has been curated by the Juneteenth Council to recreate the momentous first Juneteenth celebration in Galveston, Texas in 1866, and will feature spoken word, a history lesson, and musical performances. Thank you to the founders and members of the Juneteenth Council, village historian Joyce Sherrock Cole, Joanda Dabbs, Community Equity Task Force Co-Chair Althema Goodson, and School Board Trustee Diana Lemon for organizing this year's festivities and for their continuing efforts to uplift and empower the Black community in Ossining and educate all of us on our nation's rich and complex history. Also, please remember all of these exciting programs and offerings are only available because we have made so much great progress with our vaccination numbers. Governor Cuomo announced that once New York State hits at least 70% adults with at least one dose, most of COVID restrictions will be lifted. We are only 1.4% away. Everyone 12 years of age or older is now eligible for the vaccine. Walk-ins are available at the Westchester County Center for Johnson & Johnson vaccines, and appointments are available at the County Center for Pfizer vaccinations, the only vaccine that is currently available to 12 to 15-year-olds. Our local Ossining volunteer Ambulance Corps OVAC will be distributing Johnson & Johnson vaccines on June 13th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at OVAC headquarters at 8 Clinton Avenue, and on June 19th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Ossining Farmers Market. OVAC frequently posts on their Facebook page if they have leftover doses available too, so check them out. Each person that gets the vaccine gets us one step closer to a COVID-free summer. We can do it, Ossining, come on. Finally, and importantly, the New York State Emergency Rental Assistance Program, ERAP, is now open for applications. Visit OTDA, that's otda.ny.gov/programs/emergency-rental-assistance to learn more and apply. If you need help completing the application in Westchester County, you can simply dial 211, that's much easier than all those other numbers, and you will be connected with a local to you not-for-profit that can assist you with your application. This past year has been extremely challenging for so many people, and programs like ERAP are so important to getting us all back to normal. That is it for my announcements. Do my board colleagues have anything to add for announcements?
I did want to say, I noticed that a program where parents or guardians of any New Yorker ages 12 to 17 can enter their child who's received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine to win one of 50 four-year full ride scholarships, including tuition fees, room and board, and expenses to any New York State public college or university. And the drawings are conducted weekly. So if your kid has gotten a vaccine, or you go get your child a 12 to 17-year-old child a vaccine, you are eligible to enter this drawing. Would have been great if my kids won that. I know that college is quite expensive. So
Absolutely. All righty. Anybody else? Any other announcements? Hearing none, we will go on to liaison reports. Are there any? Okay, hearing none of those, off to the public comment on agenda items only. So any of the items that are on the agenda for this evening, if you, as a person in the public, have anything to say about any of our agenda items, please raise your virtual hand and we will unmute you and you may speak. We have two people with the exact same initials in our audience tonight. Hello, two people. Okay, so we are going to pass on our announcements. I'm sorry, pass on our public comment on agenda items, and we are going to move on to our board resolutions.
Okay. Our approval of minutes, regular meeting, May 25th, 2021. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the May 25th, 2021 meetings of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
Okay. Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the voucher detail report dated June 8th, 2021 in the amount of $502,000 and $502,661.37.
You doubted yourself. You were.
For some, I don't know, for some reason the number didn't look like a normal number in my head. I don't know.
That's okay. You did good. Thank you very much. Okay, do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, Fernando called something 100,000. It was 100 million. So you're good, Martha.
Okay. Okay. Tax certiorari.
Sorry, Martha, can I just chime in here before you get
Yes.
started on this?
Sorry.
We're the next 4 tax cert resolutions. Martha's only going to read a portion of them. The resolutions in their entirety are available on the Town of Boston website, on the town clerk's website, and in the clerk's office for anyone who would like to review.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We're saved and we appreciate it very much. So with that,
It's still kind of long, but it's short.
Yeah.
okay, but
A little bit shorter.
we heard today, I think we heard today that somebody was asking, who's that person who talks so fast?
That's me.
Unexpectedly, it is a Martha Kudasaka. Okay. Go ahead. You're on.
Okay. Tax certiorari GMSU Incorporated versus Town of Austin, Inc. Whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by GMSU Incorporated against the Town of Austin, New York, to review the tax assessment made on petitioner's property located at 1136 Pleasantville Road, Village of Briarcliff Manor, in the Town of Austin, New York, and designated on the tax assessment map of the Town of Austin as Section 98.10, Block 1, Lot 48 for tax assessment years 2015 to 2020. Which proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index numbers 67361/15, 65054/16, 6663/17, 6684/18, 66304/19, and 62152/20. And whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings subject to the approval of the town board, correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvement as follows. Resolved, the settlement of the proceedings on the terms set forth herein is hereby accepted and approved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, wherein such proceedings are pending. And be it further resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessors authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the town of Austin, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered into accordance with the terms of this settlement, and the receiver of taxes is authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of town of Austin taxes estimated to be $293.23, which will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a few tax certiorari resolutions on our agenda like this one. Thankfully, the refunds due to these property owners from the town are relatively small. This is due in no small part to our assessor, Fernando Gonzalez, maintaining our role at full market value, ensuring that the town's assessed values are almost always accurate. And thank you to our town prosecutor, Stephen Dewey, for always going to bat for the town during these negotiations to arrive at fair settlements. Without any further questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Okay, tax certiorari 191 Enterprise Corporation versus Town of Austin. Whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by 191 Enterprise Corp. against the Town of Austin, New York, to review the tax assessments made on the petitioner's property located at 191 North Highland Avenue in the Town of Austin, New York, 10562, and designated the tax assessment map of the Town of Austin in Section 89.11, Block 1, Lot 82 for tax assessment years 2016 to 2020, which proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index numbers 63,660/2016, 65,196/2017, 67,335/2018, and 66,914/2019, 60,602/2020, and whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings subject to the approval of the town board, correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvements as follows. Resolved, the settlement of the proceedings on the terms set forth herein is hereby accepted and approved, subject to the approval of Supreme Court, Westchester County, wherein such proceedings are pending. And it is further resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessors authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the town of Austin, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered in accordance with the terms of this settlement, and the receiver of taxes is authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of town of Austin taxes estimated to be $293.74, will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah.
Tax certiorari NSRR Realty LLC versus Town of Austin. Whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by NSSR Realty LLC against the Town of Austin, New York, to review the tax assessment made on petitioner's property located at 532 North State Road, Town of Austin, New York, 10562, and designated the tax assessment map of the Town of Austin as Section 90.15, Block 2 and Lot 17, and also Section 90.15, Block 2 and Lot 18 for tax assessment years 2016 to 2020, which proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index numbers 63,732/16, 64,562/17, 64,108/18, 65,005/19, and 60,372/2020. And whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings subject to the approval of the town board, correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvements as follows. Resolved that settlement of the proceedings on the terms set forth herein is hereby accepted and approved, subject to the approval of Supreme Court, Westchester County, when such proceedings are pending. And it is further resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessors authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the town of Austin, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered into accordance with the terms of this settlement. And the receiver of taxes is authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of town of Austin taxes estimated to be $348.86, which will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Tax Year CRA M&M Realty Corp. Versus Town of Austining. Whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by M&M Realty Corp. Against the Town of Austining, New York, to review this tax assessment made on petitioner's property located at 520 North State Road, Town of Austining, New York 10562, and designated on the tax assessment map of the Town of Austining, Section 90.19, Lot 2 and Lot 19 for tax assessment years 2016 to 2020. The proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index number 663,733/16, 64,570/17, 64,909/18, 65,003/19, and 60,373/20. And whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings and subject to the approval of the town board, correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvements as follows. Resolved, the settlement of the proceedings on the terms set forth herein is hereby accepted and approved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, wherein such proceedings are pending, and it is further resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessors authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the Town of Austining, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered in accordance with the terms of the settlement, and the receiver of taxes is authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of Town of Austining taxes estimated to be $3,044.10, which will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Once again, thanks so much to Fernando and Stephen G. and to Martha Cunisa.
Okay, resolution modifying town board meeting schedule. Whereas at its annual reorganizational meeting, the town board established by resolution its meeting schedule for the year, which with its work sessions generally held on the first and third Tuesdays of the month, and its resolution sessions generally held on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, subject to certain modifications. And whereas it has come to the town board's attention that there are certain conflicts with its meeting schedule that the board wishes to address, including its June 22nd, 2021 legislative session that is the date of the primary, which the town clerk will be responsible for administering, and its September 9th, 2021 work session that is the date of the Westchester Municipal Officers Association meeting, where certain town board members will be attending. And whereas the town board also wishes to cancel 2 work sessions over the summer in anticipation of lighter agendas due to board members, town employees, and the public enjoying summer vacations. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby modifies its meeting schedule as follows. The legislative session scheduled for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021 will be held on Monday, June 21st, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom video conferencing in accordance with the governor's executive orders 2.1 and 2.105 as subsequently extended. The work session scheduled for Thursday, September 9th, 2021 will be held on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom conferencing in accordance with the governor's executives 2.1 as subsequently extended, or if Zoom video conferencing is no longer an option at the Austining Municipal Building, 16 Croton Avenue, Austining, New York. Be it further resolved, the town board hereby cancels the following town board meetings. Tuesday, July 20th, 2021 work session, and Tuesday, August 17th, 2021 work session. Be it further resolved, the town clerk is hereby directed to notice said meetings as required by law.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So as the resolution states, there are a few changes we needed to make to our schedule. First, in order to avoid a conflict with the upcoming primary election, which our clerk's office needs to supervise as our liaison to the Board of Elections. Then over the summer to lighten our schedule as we've done in the past by canceling 2 work sessions, and finally to adjust our first work session in September to avoid both Rosh Hashanah and an upcoming Westchester Municipal Officials Association meeting, and it'll be the first in-person Westchester Municipal Association meeting in quite some time. So we're hoping that many people would like to attend. So with that, do I have any discussion or questions? All those in
Nope.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? I'm sorry, Mr. Wiltshire, were you opposed to taking
No,
off for those 2 weeks?
No,
Okay,
no.
I think so. And actually, the fact that we could even talk about vacations this year is a blessing. Last year, I think we were all looking forward to our extra meetings. This year, not so much. So maybe not looking forward, but certainly it was, we're all cooped up in our homes. So In any case, that's on to the next resolution.
Okay. Call for public hearing, Community Development Block Grant 2022 through 2024 application cycle. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin hereby calls for a public hearing in the matter of the town's applications to the Community Development Block Grant 2022 through 2024 application cycle as part of the Westchester County Urban County Consortium to be held at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, June 21st, 2021. And be further resolved that pursuant to the Governor's Executive Orders 2.1 and 2.115, and subsequently extended, this public hearing will be held via video conferencing only, with the information to participate in the public hearing to be duly noticed and circulated in accordance with the requirements for noticing public hearings.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
second,
So in anticipation of the June 25th deadline for our CDBG grant applications, we will be holding, which is Community Development Block Grant, we will be holding a public hearing on June 21st. That meeting that we just talked about was rescheduled to Monday, June 21st, for the public to comment on our proposed projects and budgets. We're still crunching the numbers, but we're hopeful that with this grant funding, we will be able to complete some high impact, important projects for the community without overburdening the taxpayers. Not going to be no burden, but it's going to be a lot lighter of a burden to get some very important projects done at our waterfront. So looking forward to that. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay, Personnel, Seasonal Intermediate Clerk, Town Justice Court. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin appoints Stephanie Kurosaka Austin to the seasonal position of Intermediate Clerk in the Town Justice Court at an hourly rate of $15 effective June 21st, 2021.
Do you have a motion?
so moved,
So moved. Second.
So Stephanie is soon to be an Austin High School graduate who will be helping out in our justice court over the summer while one of our full-time employees is on maternity leave. The latest addition to our court arrived over the weekend. Welcome Mila Lilly to the world. So we can't wait for Stephanie to get started. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Promotion, Appointment, Town of Austin Highway Department. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin promotes Alicia Santucci from the temporary to probationary position of part-time office assistant, automated systems in the Town of Austin Highway Department effective June 8th, 2021. And be further resolved that Ms. Santucci's hourly rate remains at $18 for 2021.
Do I have a motion?
So
so
moved.
moved,
Okay.
Second.
Although Alicia Santucci has been working part-time in our highway department for about a year and a half now, we had some things to straighten out with civil service. As usual with her title, Alicia recently passed the civil service test with flying colors. So we're finally clearing up the issue with civil service with this resolution. Thank you, Alicia, for all your hard work. We're happy to have you staying on for the long haul. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Okay. Contract Sing Sing Kill Brewery LLC. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin authorizes the supervisor to sign an agreement with Sing Sing Kill Brewery LLC, SSKB, for SSKB to curate a craft beverage chorale during the 2021 Summer Concert Series and fireworks celebration events.
Do you have a motion?
so moved, second,
So we're excited to be welcoming back Sing Sing Kill Brewery to the summer concert series and finally bringing to life the craft beverage chorale SSKB had proposed for the 2020 season, which of course could not happen. This resolution approves a contract with the brewery, laying out the terms of the town's relationship with the brewery for these events. And the next resolution approves the paperwork that needs to be completed for the state liquor authority to allow them to obtain the necessary special events permit for the summer. The idea is for them to be bringing in other craft beverage, local craft beverage providers. What's that? What's the word? I don't know. I'm running out of words. Purveyors. That's what I was looking for. To the concert series, so we can taste all the wonderful things that New York State and the Hudson Valley have to offer. So, are there any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. New York State Liquor Authority Special Event Permit Application, Summer Concert Series and Fireworks Celebration. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign the landlord authorization form for the New York State Liquor Authority special event permit application made by Sing Sing Kill Brewery LLC for the craft beverage corral at the summer concert series and fireworks celebration at Lewis Angle Park on Fridays, July 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th, August 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, September 3rd, 2021, with rain dates for the July and August concerts for the Sundays following the scheduled Friday dates, and for the September's fireworks celebration of September 10th, 2021. And be it further resolved that the applicant will provide proof of insurance and the letter of indemnity to the town in the form acceptable to council to the town.
Motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
That's assuming we do decide to do fireworks, right?
Yes, of course. Right now, we're planning for them. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay, tax payment plan, 18 Forest Avenue, whereas the town of Austin is required to collect town, county, and school taxes for the municipality with the onus of the town to make whole the county and school district for any uncollected taxes. And whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the property at 18 Forest Avenue, tax parcel designation ID number 89.16-4-64, and whereas the town board pursuant to Article 5 of the Austin Town Code as authorized by Section 1184 of the New York Real Property Tax Law, before entry of a final judgment may withdraw a parcel for which payment of real property taxes is delinquent from a foreclosure proceeding and enter into an installment plan for payment of all delinquent taxes, as well as interest and penalties, and does occasionally grant such a plan, and has the discretion to accept or reject any proposal by a residential property owner, providing the owner meets the eligibility requirements set forth in Section 180-17 of the Town Code, and the payment plan conforms to the requirements for such a repayment plan set forth in Section 180-18 of the Town Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the aforementioned payment plan, which terms comply with the town code to this property owner who has been determined to be eligible, with the understanding that this sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
So we're very grateful to our receiver of taxes, Honorable Holly Perlowitz, for always working with our taxpayers to come up with a solution and do our best to keep them in their properties and make sure that they do pay, obviously, all the taxes owed, as well as the fines and penalties. So we're happy to offer that. Sorry?
Sorry, can I just do a quick as amended?
Okay, doke.
In the third whereas clause, it says, whereas the town board pursuant to Article 5 of the Austining Town Code, it should be Article 5 of Chapter 180 of the Austining Town Code.
Okey-dokey. As amended.
You said of chapter 180?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, as amended, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Memorandum of Understanding, 593 North State Road. Be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to enter into a memorandum of understanding with 593 North State Road LLC, the owner of 593 North State Road, Austin, New York, with respect to a town water main located underneath its property.
Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Council Tomadonna, do you have anything to say about this, or are we good? As is.
There's a water main, a town water main underneath the property that weren't aware of at the time that they came in for site plan approval a couple of years ago. So this is just trying to set forth the process forward to resolve that administratively so the town can get an easement. That would also be benefits to the property owner. That way, if something happens, the town can get onto the property to repair it.
Sounds like a plan, a good one at that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Thanks. Thanks for working on that too.
Stormwater Management System Maintenance and Easement Agreement, Parsonals. Whereas, as a-
didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit.
Whoops. Sorry about that.
It's
All
okay.
right, Sherry, you cannot participate in our meetings. No.
Okay, whereas as a condition of the site plan approval granted by the planning board, Parsonals LLC is required to enter into a stormwater facilities maintenance agreement with the town to ensure the stormwater management system approved by the planning board is constructed and installed by the applicant in accordance with the approved project document and all applicable NYC DEC regulations, standards, and guidelines for the project, and thereafter is maintained, cleaned, repaired, replaced, and restored in perpetuity by the applicant to ensure optimum performance, and now therefore be resolved. The town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute a stormwater management system maintenance and easement agreement with Parth North LLC, and be it further resolved. The supervisor is authorized to sign all documents reasonably necessary to have the agreement recorded with the county clerk.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So the Parth Knowles project is close to obtaining its temporary certificate of occupancy, and the site plan approval stipulates that a stormwater management system maintenance and easement agreement needs to be executed with the town prior to obtaining the temporary CO. Thank you to our town council, Christy Adana, and her colleague Kathy Isolantis for helping to shepherd these remaining administrative items along. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the town board of the town of Boston hereby accepts the following correspondence: planning board minutes, May 5th, 2021.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so with that, or do we have monthly?
So, yeah, there's one more. Monthly reports. Monthly reports. Resolved that the town board of the town of Boston hereby accepts the following monthly report for the month of May 2021. Town building department, tax receiver, town clerk, GE helicopter, highways department, and town supervisor.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? With that, we are up to our favorite part of the evening, visitor recognition. Visitors, would you like to be recognized? If so, please raise your virtual hand and we shall recognize you, and you may talk on anything whatsoever. And I'm confused between AM and AM, but no, okay, I'm hearing nothing, seeing nothing. Thank you both for attending our meeting. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn to executive session for advice of counsel and contracts.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope everyone stays cool these next few days. Please join us next week on Tuesday, June 15th for a town hall meeting. Our primary topic of discussion for that meeting will be on the recent legalization of adult use cannabis in New York State and whether or not the town will choose to opt out of allowing dispensaries and other, I don't know, Rick and I are where you're going, but that's loud. Adult use cannabis in New York State and whether or not the town will choose to opt out of allowing dispensaries and other newly permitted uses in their jurisdiction. We look forward to hearing from the community on this important issue. Please also remember that if you are unable to join our meetings for any reason, you may always send your comments or questions to the town board by emailing tc@townofaustining.com. Have a wonderful night, everybody.